All right. Hey, how's everyone doing? Um, Make sure you introduce yourself as you come in. Let me know what your name is, what city and state you are logging in from. And as soon as everybody gets logged in, we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome to the funding webinar. I love hosting these funding webinars because I love teaching people how to access the capital they need to really grow and scale their business. And let me tell you this, we are in a market where there is a lot of funding available. Do not get discouraged or let the news scare you, right? There's plenty of resources out there. They are not going to stop printing money anytime soon. So I don't want you guys to worry about that. There's tons of funding available. And the best thing is that there's different types of funding available depending on your business, right? Whether you are a nonprofit or for-profit, if you're looking for bank loans, small business grants, venture capital funding, angel investments, right? There's different types of funding options that are available for you and to you. So as you guys come on in, introduce yourselves, let me know where you are and what your name is. Because what I like to do is really tailor my webinars and include real life scenarios. Okay. So as everybody gets logged in, we will go ahead and get started. Hey, Roshana. Oh, Susu Lemonade Crush. I like that name. That's really nice. Hey, Terrence. Terrence is in Riverview, Florida. Wonderful. All right. Is that Michonne? I would love to know how your name is pronounced. That's a beautiful name. Okay. And you are in Fleming, California. Awesome. Awesome. Wonderful. So, guys, we'll get started in just a second. Okay, good. I'm glad I got that right. Thank you. Thank you. Atlanta, Georgia in the house. I was just in Atlanta for a couple of weeks. I was there for 3 weeks doing some business. And Miss Foster, remind me, I've got some great contacts in Atlanta, especially with like PNC Bank. They have an $88 billion community development fund, and $26.5 billion of those funds is allocated for small business owners. My contact in Atlanta, she deals specifically with minority businesses. And so they are really trying to get some money into the hands of individuals in the Atlanta area who are running their small businesses and everything. So make sure I put you in contact and I make an introduction for you. Okay. All right. Dallas, Texas in the house. All right, guys. So I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let me just make sure that I have my presentation up because I want to make sure that I've got all the information ready for you guys, ready to go. Let's see here. I've got so much up right now. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, guys, here we go. So listen, my name is Seneca Dunmore. They call me the Pine-Sides Powerhouse, and I am enjoying this beautiful sunny day here in Houston, Texas at my sister's house. And if you can't see back there, she's got a nice pool and jacuzzi back there. So we've been taking full advantage of that. But anyway, so my name is Seneca Dunmore. They call me the Pine-Sides Powerhouse. And in this presentation, I'm going to talk about how I was able to secure $29,000 in business funding, right, for my business. And I'm going to point out three mistakes, kind of three roadblocks that you guys are probably running into that's keeping you from accessing the capital. It's not that you're not qualified, right? It's not that you aren't smart enough for the funding. Most of the time is because you're making these small little hiccups in your business, or you're not really utilizing some of the tools and resources that you have at your disposal the way they should be utilized. Okay. And so I'll explain more of that as we go along. So let's get into it. All right. So, and again, if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you the pitch deck that I used to secure the $29,000. Okay. And let me show y'all, like literally, it was only 12 slides. I made it in Canva, put it into a PowerPoint presentation, and this is what I was using to reach out to investors, to talk to the banks, right? A really quick and easy slideshow, and it was only 12 slides. So most people think you got to have this long, drawn out business plan and proposal and all of those different things, and you don't, right? If you know the right people, you get in front of the right people, you make what you have to say short and succinct, right? If you can say more doing less, they like that. Okay. So again, stay to the end and I'll make sure that you get a copy of that pitch deck. So again, my name is Seneca Dunmore. They call me the Pint Size Powerhouse. I'm an international speaker, over 45 countries. I'm a speaker coach, so I teach new and aspiring speakers how to maximize and monetize their speaking business, building it from the ground up. I also teach high impact professionals how to leverage professional speaking and communication as a primary vehicle to secure funding for their business. Because as you guys know, the higher you go up, right, and the more money that you're making in your business, you got to be an effective communicator, especially if you're going after more funding. And funding should be an essential part of your business. Like you should be going after the funding even when you don't need it. Okay. I'm an angel investor myself. I'm a global philanthropist, so I do a lot of work in other countries, and I'll show you guys some of the work that I've done in different countries and how I was able to have all of that funded by somebody else, because I'm all about somebody else writing the check so that I can keep more of my money in my pocket. Okay. So I've been seen on, multiple, radio and news stations and media outlets and magazines. Okay. I won't bore you with that stuff, but I always tell people my favorite title is servant. I am a kingdom financier. Okay. God has commissioned me to funnel the resources, right? To be a conduit of financial resources for other people. That's why I love spending my time in front of the investors and the bankers, because I know how to make these people part ways with their money. Okay. I know how to get them to part ways with their money and make sure that money gets in the hands of the people like you who really deserve it. Okay. So moving on. Now, remember when I talked about that $29,000, right? It only came from two investors. One was JP Morgan Chase, and you see they've been in the news lately, okay? And then the other one was from an angel investment. So I was invited to an invitation-only networking event by JP Morgan. I pitched the idea of my conference, and literally, a week later, I had a meeting with one of their directors, and they cut a check the same day. And let me tell y'all this, it wasn't because I had some fancy business plan, because I had all these profit and loss statements and balance sheets and but it was because I knew how to articulate the vision. I knew how to communicate what I needed from them and how it was going to benefit them and the greater good of the humanity. Right. And so that's what it's more about. Not saying that those other things aren't important. I'm just saying that you will go much further and get more funding if you know how to cultivate relationships. Again, part of that money was a $25,000 investment from an angel investor that I met through LinkedIn, guys. I initially reached out to this person for a meeting, but because I wanted them to sponsor my event. And instead of sponsoring my event, they ended up basically giving me a $25,000 investment to start a whole nother business. Okay. And you see, I've got a little screenshot of the account, right? You see on October 14, 2022 is when that money hit my account. Okay. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my background, right? Born and raised in Houston, Texas, in a very impoverished neighborhood called Sunnyside. Sunnyside was considered the sixth most dangerous neighborhood in America at one point. It was crime, lots of violence, poverty. You know, most of the people in that community lived below the poverty line. We were what you call the working poor, right? People had jobs in the community, but it wasn't enough to live, right? It was always more month than money. Okay. But what I realized is that Sunnyside was not a bad neighborhood, it was an economically disenfranchised community. Okay. So what I was seeing in my neighborhood was a result of people in survival mode, right? The crime, the violence. It was just people trying to live and trying to survive. Okay. And so because I saw that, that's why I'm so passionate about helping people get the resources that they need so that they're thriving, not surviving, right? That they don't feel like they have to take something from you in order to sustain themselves. Now, and again, guys, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. As I'm talking, if something pops up in your mind, a question you want to ask me, just throw it in the chat. I'll make sure that I toggle back and forth so that I can answer your questions, because I want to make sure that this is a dialogue and not just a monologue. I want to make sure that I answer any questions that you may have. Okay. This is what I want you guys to really understand. Relationships are the key to advocacy, and advocacy is the key to access. What do I mean by that? You want to cultivate relationships in such a way that these individuals become advocates for you. I'll give you a prime example. So again, when I was talking about my connection with PNC Bank, right? They're one of my best clients. I was talking to my connect there, and she was saying how there was a young lady who came into her office, needed a business loan, but her credit was a little jacked up. Okay. And again, those things are easy fixes. It might take a while, but those are easy fixes. And so she didn't qualify for the loan at that time. But they worked with her, right? The banks worked with her to show her what she needed to do to qualify. She came back 9 months later and guess what? Qualified for the funding and got a $50,000 loan to invest in her business, which is phenomenal, right? Because again, we all need working capital in our businesses to really grow and scale. And this is the thing. I love that story because she did not get discouraged. She did what she needed to do to make sure that she got the funding. More importantly, she stayed in contact with that VP, that individuals who was helping her with the loan. And because she was continuously cultivating that relationship, that woman was incentivized to give her that money, right? Because when you have someone who's taking their time doing the work, you see them doing the work. She's like, I need to make sure that this young lady gets the money. And she did. Okay. And so that's what I want for you guys. I want to make sure that you're getting in front of the right people to get the capital that you need to grow and scale. Okay, so relationships are the key to advocacy. Advocacy is the key to access. Remember when I was talking about my global philanthropy work, right? So this is, I'm in Ghana here. I studied at the University of Ghana. I was doing research there at their Institute of African Studies. That trip was paid in full, okay, through crowdfunding. And I was there for 16 days. I did not have to spend a dime of my own money, okay? This is a medical mission that I did in Luanda, Angola back in 2016, paid in full. I taught in South Africa in 2016 as well. So I went to Africa twice that year, right? Angola and South Africa. That trip for me to teach, paid in full. Okay. Not only that, but I've been to Kenya 3 times doing medical missions and working with the Maasai tribes, working with different tribes out there, actually. And so as I talk about the traditional forms of funding, which is like small business grants, loans, venture capital funding, angel investments, there's also alternative funding, right? Like crowdfunding, where you pull together your friends, families, total strangers to pour into whatever it is, whatever project that you have going on. And please, guys, ask people to support your business. Ask people to make financial investments in your business. We don't mind asking people to bring presents for a baby shower. We don't mind asking people for things like that. But by all means, ask for money for your business. When people say, how can I help you? Say, listen, I'm running a business. I need more working capital in your business. Could I get an investment? Because let me tell you, in 2023, if I don't have those type of people around, I don't want it. Okay. All right. Let's keep on moving. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay. And again, guys, you are your greatest investment. Investing in myself has taken me all over the world, right? And these are just some of the countries that I've been to. I've been to over 45 countries. And so I know the power of leveraging my network, leveraging the people around me. All right. So, number one, the first thing I want you guys to understand, investors want proof, not potential. Write that down. Investors want proof, not potential. What do I mean by that exactly? When you go before these investors, right, they want to see that you're getting traction in your business. They want to see that you're making sales, right? That it's working. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to have, you know, tons of money coming to your business, tons of traction, but they want to see some movement. Think about the law of physics, right? A body that stays, a body that starts in motion stays in motion, something like that, right? When you have that momentum, it's easier to keep that momentum going. And not only that, but investors, funders, they want to put their money with individuals who are actually doing it. Right? So, yes. Okay. Investors want that proof, not potential. Okay. And guys, let me show you some things, right? I always tell people what I'm showing you is stuff that I've done. So this is not theory. This is not happenstance, hypothetical situations. No, this is things that I've done. In 2021, right, I helped this young lady who I've known since I was 8 years old. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a business owner, been running her own business for the past 20 years, highly educated. But again, she was getting more inquiries about getting in front of more people about her business. And so she wanted to become a more confident, compelling communicator so that she could secure more contracts. And so she took one of my courses, like literally 6-7 weeks in, secured her first 6-figure contract. Okay. Again, these are the things that are being done. This is another client of mine, Joy Jackson, who worked in the financial industry and the banking industry for a number of years. She was a C-level executive making a nice 6-figure salary, was let go during the pandemic, started one of my programs literally the day she was let go. And in less than 2 months, she has secured her first 2 paid speaking engagements. One in the amount of $2,500. The next one was for $5,000. So literally, in a couple of weeks, she made $7,500. Not bad for somebody who's just getting into the business. Now she's a best-selling author. She's done a TED Talk, right? Her business is booming. Here's another young lady. She is in the DEI space, right? Runs her own human capital consulting firm. Came to me about wanting to leverage speaking as a primary vehicle to grow her business. And so she joined one of my accelerator programs. Girl is blowing it out of the water, has created a whole new stream of income. Okay. So I show you these things because I want to give you proof that is being done. Not, like I said, these are not hypothetical situations. And if you're like me, I want to partner with people who are doing it, not people who are trying to do it. I want to talk to people who are already millionaires, who are already in the position that I want to be in. Okay. Number 2. Okay. I hope you guys are writing this down. You need more than people with influence. You need advocates who have affluence. Remember when we talked about the advocates, right? These are individuals who go speak on your behalf. So let's say you're going in for a bank loan, right? You need to be cultivating a personal relationship with that banker, because that banker now takes that information and then they go talk to the underwriters. So that personal banker now becomes your advocate, and they talk to the underwriters who makes the final decisions about whether that, loan or grant is approved. So that's why I say cultivating those relationships is so important. If you have a business, you should be meeting with your business banking manager at least once a quarter, minimum. I'm always meeting with my business banking manager. Okay. I take them to lunch. I take them for coffee. I tell them what projects I have going on, because guess what? I like for people to sponsor my events. And remember, they've got money that they've got to fund. They've got to get rid of, right? They have initiatives that they have to support. And because they know about mine, I'm top of mind because I'm always staying in contact with them. So that you need to have that type of mindset, right? So when you're talking to your business banking manager, let them know how your business is doing, what type of funding you're going to need in the future. Talk to them about all of those things, because they're the ones who now advocate for you. They're the ones, when that funding comes across their desk, they're thinking about you first. You're top of mind because you're cultivating a relationship with them. The last thing you want is to go in, you don't know the people, you're putting in an application, and guess what? It goes into a stack, and you would just become another number with everybody else who's turned in one of those applications. People like to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. The only way they get to know you, like you, and trust you is if they're cultivating a relationship with you. Does that make sense? Everybody following? Okay. Next thing. Remember when I was talking about LinkedIn? Okay. Let me tell you, one of the best places to find people with influence and affluence, right? One of the best places to turn, connections into advocates is LinkedIn. Let me tell you guys, this is a gentleman, I literally chased him down for 4 or 5 months to get a meeting with him. He is a patent attorney for leading startups in artificial intelligence and machine learning, which of course you see is like booming right now. And he has unicorn clients, meaning these are clients valued at over $1 billion, right? Their businesses are valued at over $1 billion. And I tell you, meeting him was one of the best things I could have done. He came and spoke at my conference. Now I've been able to tap into his network. He's been able to tap into my network. You need people like this on your team. This is another gentleman I chased down for a year. Okay. He is an angel investor. He manages a fund. He is the director of impact investing for a global endowment firm. He manages a $4.6 billion portfolio. He was just on my last stage in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. These are the type of people you want to be in front of. And guess what? Like I said, I met all of those individuals through LinkedIn. LinkedIn should be your best friend. That's where I've made some of the best connections. I've been able to secure some of the biggest contracts, bring in more funding for my business, right? Because of cultivating those relationships through LinkedIn. Next thing, you want to volunteer where the people with the money are. Where are the people who have the money? Okay. They're hanging out at conferences. They're hanging out at trade shows. They're hanging out at sporting events. They're hanging out at cigar bars. They're at the gym in the morning, right? Because that's when they're trying to get that workout early because they have a business to run. They go to happy hour. They don't go to the club right there. They like to go to happy hour between, 4 and 6, because guess what? These are the type of people, they want to be at home having dinner with their family at a certain time because they got to get up and do it all over again. So you want to start going and investing in these places where they are. And let me show you, and let me tell you, volunteer. If you can't afford to be at some of these conferences, because they can get pricey. I mean, I've been to conferences, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. So they can get pricey. But let me show you some of the people that I've been able to meet by simply volunteering. I met the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks, St. Marshall. Amazing woman. Okay. Absolutely phenomenal woman. And this was at the Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit in Las Vegas in 2018. The very same year, I met Senior Advisor to U.S. President Barack Obama, Valerie Jarrett. Okay, you see me talking to her right there. And you see my little green cord on to let people know that I was a volunteer. Okay, then also, I don't know if you guys know this gentleman, Farrah Gray, right? He's a millionaire, best-selling author, investor, speaker. But guys, I'm telling you, I met all of these multi-million and multi-billionaires at conferences that I did not pay for. I went as a volunteer. And let me tell you the secret. You volunteer in the morning, because guess what happens in the evening? The galas, the happy hours, the networking events. So what you want to do is you want to volunteer in the morning, because they always have 3 different shifts: a morning shift, an afternoon shift, and an evening shift. You volunteer in the morning because guess what? Because you're a volunteer, you get into everything free. You can now go to all of the evening functions for free and mix and mingle with all the millionaires and billionaires like you paid for the event. And guess what? They don't have to know you were a volunteer. So now you can rub elbows with all the big wigs, get their information, follow back up with them at a later time. That's how you make it happen. Okay, but you got to be in the room with them. Proximity is everything. Okay, next thing, understand this: the quickest pathway to financial capital is social capital. You keep on hearing me talk about cultivating those relationships. That's social capital. Because guess what? Now they can advocate for you. Now they can vouch for you. Now, when it's time to go before these investors and funders and things like that, now it's a much easier pitch. So again, the quickest pathway to that financial capital that you're looking for in your business is social capital. Start focusing on the relationships with the people who have access to the resources. And let me tell y'all, remember I was just talking about a little bit about the banks, right? So one of my clients, US Bank, okay, and that's also where I bank as well. So I have multiple business banking accounts, one of them with US Bank. They have a $30 million bank access fund. A $30 million US Bank access fund. They're looking to give 30,000 women-owned businesses that money. And it looks like we've got some Black women on here, right? We've got some women of color on here. If I were you, I would be finding a representative with you within US Bank, preferably like a manager, a director, right? Someone who you can speak to and ask them about that $30 million and how you can access it. Because I think that fund runs until next year. Okay. So still funding available. Next, remember I told y'all I got JP Morgan Chase to sponsor my very first event. They wrote a check to cover my first event. They have a $2 billion fund right now that they're looking to deploy to Black, Latina, and women-owned businesses. So if you are a Black business, you're a Latina business, you're a woman-owned business, there's no reason why you should not be talking to someone at JP Morgan and asking how you can access that fund. That's literally how I got my conference sponsored. When they invited me into that meeting, there were 5 directors in that room. I asked them about that $2 billion. And I told them, hey, I've got a conference coming up, and the people in that room are the individuals that you are targeting for the money. How about I get you guys in the room, y'all cut a check, bring a representative, and we talk about how we can make those funds available to my audience. And guess what they did? They cut a check and they sent a representative, and they brought gifts. So guys, remember, these institutions have money. Again, don't get scared because, oh, we're navigating, a possible recession, record inflation, there might be another pandemic on the way. Don't worry about all that. Because let me tell you, this is a capitalistic society. They are not going to stop printing money anytime soon. The point of currency is for it to flow. It needs to move. Okay, and there's no reason why you should not be recipients of that funding. Okay, so again, JP Morgan, plenty of money. Not only that, but remember I just told y'all about my contact at PNC Bank. So I'm doing a lot of work with PNC Bank to connect them with more businesses of color. They have an $88 billion community development fund right now. 46 billion of that is for home lending, real estate, right? So if you're a first-time home buyer, if you're looking to get into real estate investing, $47 billion for that. 26.5 billion is for small businesses. And I'm pretty sure everybody on here is a small business, meaning you make under $25 million annually in your business. You qualify for that funding. They also have another 4.5 billion for community development. And Terrence, I don't know, that might be up your alley as well, since what you're trying to do is a lot around financial literacy, right? That is developing the community. So I would definitely be asking about those funds. Okay, because remember, guys, business is a team sport. You should be in business for yourself. You should not be in business by yourself, right? Independence is overrated. You cannot do all of this by yourself. You need to have other individuals who can do the things that you can't do, right? Who can help you in the areas that you can't help yourself. Funding historically has been a sore spot for a lot of people of color, right? We've been deliberately kept out of the process of creating wealth. We've been deliberately economically disenfranchised. We've been deliberately marginalized and criminalized. I get it. But that does not mean that we do not deserve to be at the table. It means that we need to work that much, not harder, because I don't believe in this, oh, you got to work so hard. No, we just got to be more strategic, and we got to go in and ask for that money. The reason why a lot of people are receiving this funding is not because they don't qualify, it's because they're not asking for it. When people say, Seneca, how did you get JP Morgan to cut a whole check and fund your whole conference? Because I asked them to. I knew that they had the funding. I know that they have a corporate social responsibility to make sure that funding gets to businesses of color. I'm a woman, own business. I'm a woman of color, right? I made sure I asked for that money, and I got it. And guess what? I already have them lined up to sponsor my next conference in Charlotte, North Carolina next year. So ask for the money. Ask for the money, okay? And guys, let me ask you a question. How many of you are struggling to access the capital you need? Right? Let me know. Is it that you don't know where the funding is? You don't know what funding vehicle is best for your business. You don't know who to ask. You don't know how to go about navigating these conversations, right? You just don't know. Let me know in the comments where you are. Okay? Let me know your greatest pain points when it comes to accessing the capital that you need. And I'm going to take me a little drink of my apple juice. Let me know. Let me know, what are your pain points? Let me know. What are your pain points? What is keeping you from accessing the capital that you need to grow and scale your business? Anyone? Anybody want to share? Anybody want to share? All right. Well, let me just ask you another question. If I had a solution to help you, right, would you be interested in hearing about that solution? Would you be interested in hearing about my solution to help you get the capital that you need to grow and you scale your business? Anyone? Anyone? All right. All right. So Terrence said, I need to know where to look for the funds. And trust me, Terrence, you are not the only one. Okay. And that's why I'm here, because I want to make sure that you guys are going after the funding. You know exactly where it is, how to access it, right? All of that. All right, guys. Well, good. So now that I know that you're interested, let me tell you. On June 16th and 17th, I'm going to be hosting my third annual Access Granted Conference, right? The same conference that I had JP Morgan and US Bank get behind. It's called Less Dialogue, More Dollars. That is the theme this year, right? Because it doesn't matter how much mentorship you get, how much coaching, and all of these things, if it does not come with dollars. At the end of the day, my objective is to make sure that I position you to get the money. Okay? So Access Granted is my third annual conference that's going to be going on here in Houston, Texas on June 16th and 17th. And we already have a young lady here who's already bought her ticket. Okay, she's already ready to go. So let me tell you what you're going to get when you come, right? You get a welcome package from me and the sponsors valued at $45. You're going to get an exquisite 3-course dining experience, right, from the hotel. And me and my communications guy are actually doing the menu tonight. I'm so excited because the food looks so good. We're going to do a cocktails in the courtyard business networking experience valued at $158. You're going to get 30-day access to my monetized LinkedIn course. Remember those, individuals that I showed you in the beginning who manage multi-million and billion dollar accounts, running multi-million dollar firms? I'm going to show you how to target those individuals and how to cultivate relationships with them, because those two guys are still in my network. Talk to them all the time. Okay. And you're going to get all access to the keynote and breakout sessions on the day of conference. That is valued at $1,497. Now, the total value of this conference is $1,997. But check this out. Let me tell you why this is so important. The reason why most of you are frustrated with funding is because you're talking to the wrong people. You're talking to the people who signed the back of the check when you need to be talking to the people who signed the front of the check. Okay? You need to be talking to people who signed the front of the check, not the back of the check. Totally different conversation. Let me tell you what I do when I'm going after these funders and organizations. I start at the top, not the bottom. Most people start with, let me reach out to their secretary, somebody's executive assistant. Let me reach out to a manager. I don't do that. I start at the top of the food chain. I want to find out who's the president, who's the executive director, right? Who's the executive director? Who's the president? Who makes the decisions around here? That's who I want to know. All right, we'll be able to share the slides after the training. This is extremely motivational. Good. I'm glad you are enjoying it. Absolutely. I can get that over to you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But that's one of the things I do. I start at the top of the food chain, not the bottom. Okay. Now, if I can't get to the president, I'm looking for the next in command, right? The VP, executive assistant, whoever, right? If they have executive, director, VP, or president in their name, that's what I'm targeting. Not the gatekeepers. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is, again, you're going to have access to all of these investors. And let me just show you from left to right, right? You have myself, who's an angel investor, international speaker, over 45 countries. I am the CEO and founder of Dunmore Capital Ventures. And I started this company, Dunmore Capital Ventures, with that $25,000 angel investment that I received last year from an angel investor who I had known for less than a year. Okay. Next to me, you have Abraham J. Williamson, who is also a venture capitalist. He is a tech startup attorney out of Nashville, Tennessee. Next to him, you have Christopher Senegal, who is a real estate developer and investor here in Houston, Texas. He has over $100 million in real estate development going on right now in Houston. So again, if you are looking to get into the real estate market or maybe do more investing in that arena, that's who you want to be talking to. We have Dr. Shantae, who is a capital activist. She's also an impact and venture investor, right? So she's in the venture capital arena herself. She's also the global CEO of her own organization called Black Pearl Global Investments. So she has locations in the United States as well as Africa. You have Pedro Moore, who's the CEO and founder of Funding Fuel. He's also the venture capital advisor for Damon John on Shark Tank. So guys, when I tell y'all I'm bringing in the muscle, the big guns, okay? Right under me is Marley Watkins. Marley is a lawyer as well. He's also a business structuring expert. Let me tell y'all why I get so excited about talking about Marley, because I found Marley. Actually, Marley found me through LinkedIn. And let me tell you, business structuring is so important. This is how the rich avoid paying taxes. This is how they maximize their profits. This is how they minimize taxes and liabilities. This is how they grow generational wealth, right? This is how they protect their assets, all through business structuring. That's why I always tell people, the way you structure your business on the front end will save you so much time, money, and trouble on the back end. So that's what Marla is going to be talking about. Okay. And if for some of you are probably at the beginning stages of wanting to know how you should better structure your business, this is the gentleman you want to be talking to. Next to him is Williams D. Brack. He comes from Regions Bank as one of the vice presidents. He's also an author, a podcaster, a business coach. So he does a lot with mergers and acquisition, taxes. Okay. He deals with accounts anywhere from 400 million to 2 billion. So again, guys, we want to start thinking about where we're going. Don't think about like where you are now. Like, oh, well, why would I be in the room with these people? They're on such a whole nother level. That's because you're going to that level. You want to talk to the people who are already at the level. See, the problem is we're so busy talking to people at our level. JC said, I can't help them if I'm right here with them. Meaning, I can't be of service to them if we all in the same boat. I need to be, if we're all on the paddle boat, I need to be up here with the people on the yacht. So I need to be talking to the people on the yacht, because the people in the paddle boat can't tell me how to get to the yacht. You guys follow me? Are y'all tracking? Okay. Are there funding opportunities for fairly new business owners? Absolutely. Absolutely. Mashawn, let me tell you, I literally, my very first conference with JP Morgan Chase, I literally sold them on the idea. I hadn't even done a conference before. I sold them on the idea of me doing a conference and got the funding. The $25,000 angel investment that I received, that was starting a business. That wasn't an existing business. That was me starting a business. Okay. So yes, ma'am, there's absolutely funding for new businesses. Absolutely. And now is the most opportune time, because guess what? When the market is down, investors are up. Meaning they're looking for opportunities to park their money. They're looking for opportunities to invest their money. So yes, ma'am, there's money out here. And because you are a Black woman, okay, Black women are the most educated, the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the United States. So people want to place their bets with the people making the biggest contribution to our economic well-being, which are Black women. And Terrence, I'm not forgetting about Black men, because Black men are showing up in this season, and there's plenty of money for you too. Right, guys? A lot of this money is being allocated for minority businesses. And sometimes I don't even like using the word minority, because we're really not the minority. We are the majority. Okay. All right. So let me keep going. Next to Marley, I got to Williams Bragg. The next one is Polly Uthe. Love Polly, y'all. Everybody need a Polly in their life. Okay. She is an amazing woman. And when I tell you, she know how to get the bag, right? So she deals in wealth management, life insurance, right? Showing you how, when you get the money, let me show you how to grow the money. Let me show you how to let the money work for you. And then last but not least, we have Adonis Lockett. He's a real estate investor and the director of operations for LNH Capital. LNH Capital has just invested in my conference, right? So they are partnering with me. And not only that, but he is raising $100 million for a fund that he's doing for real estate investors. And he's already raised $20 million. Okay. So when I tell y'all, I'm putting y'all in the room with the people who are doing it, not who are trying to do it, who are doing it, who are managing multi-million, multi-billion dollars account, right? These are the investors that you want to talk to. And guess what? The best part about it, guys, is they look just like you and me. Representation is very important to me. I'm always looking for the people who look like me, because they know where I came from. They know what I deal with. Okay. So I want to talk to those type of people. And guys, hold on one second. Let me grab my charger. Actually, let me just move to the inside. We're almost done. We only got a few more minutes. But I do not want my laptop to die. And guys, look, I am sitting out here at my sister's place. Beautiful jacuzzi and pool in the back. It's a beautiful day, so I've been enjoying myself. All right, we're almost done. Can I see it right there real quick, Johnny? Thank you, baby. I got to plug up. I'm almost done, Molly. All right, guys, I had to move to the inside so that my computer did not die on you guys. Okay, so again, so that's all the speakers for the Access Branded Conference. Oh, he's fine. He's fine. Um, all right, guys. So again, you get to meet all the investors. You're getting a 3-course dining experience where you get to network with other like-minded business professionals, right? You're also going to be able to enjoy a cocktails in the courtyard networking hour, because again, I always tell people that's where the magic really happens. Most of the deals that I do not happen in the office. They happen over brunch, over cocktails, on the golf course, right, at sporting events. This is where the magic happens. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, I love inviting people out for coffee and cocktails and things like that, because that's where the real deals happen. Okay. So you'll get that. You'll get access to my monetized LinkedIn course, which is one of my best-selling courses, because it shows you how to target, right? How to cultivate relationships with those key players, with those power players, and how to get the funding. Okay. And then also, guys, again, I always tell y'all, I'm a big believer in social proof. Okay. This young lady, Kim, came to both of my conferences. After my very first conference in Charlotte, she secured a $10,000 grant less than a month after attending my conference. And she has already to date secured $76,000 in grant funding. Okay. So again, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I am helping my clients to do. This young lady here just came to my last conference. She owns the only Black-owned, woman-owned vodka company in Charlotte, North Carolina. She just secured a $5,000 pitch competition, and she is now in every major, her vodka is in every major retailer. Okay. And guys, again, those are some of the smaller investments. This is, I was hired in 2020 by a community nonprofit who hired me to build a digital literacy program for them. So I worked with another grant writer, and together we were able to secure them $5.4 million in grant funding for that one program at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. So as soon as COVID hit, right after I finished building out that program, we were able to secure them $5.4 million for one program. So when I tell you, like, I've worked with the grant writers, I've gotten the grant funding, I've gotten the angel investing funding, I've gotten the loan, funding from the banks, right? I'm hitting it from all sides. I'm trying to get every dollar I can. And I'm trying to make sure everybody in my network knows how to do the same thing for themselves. Any questions so far? We're almost done. So let me ask you guys a question, right? If you came to the Access Granted Conference, and if all it did was this, all it did was give you direct access to a network of wealthy individuals, right? Angel investors, venture capitalists, VPs at the banks, right? Who can show you where the funding is, how to access it, and possibly make a financial investment in your business, would it be worth the $1,997? Let me know in the comments if that's all it did, right? If you came and all it did was put you in front of wealthy individuals who can show you where the capital is, access it, and possibly make a financial investment in your business, would it be worth $1,997? Let me know. Let me know in the comments section, yes or no. Let me know. Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? So Terrence says yes. Mashawn says yes. John says absolutely worth the investment. Thank you, guys. So let me tell you, because this is my thing. I'm always trying to make sure that I can get people in the room, right? Because the magic happens in the room. Proximity is what you want. You can't be what you can't see. So you need to be in proximity with the investors, because that's how you cultivate those relationships. That's how it pays off. Again, just putting in applications to people who you've never seen before, that's how your stuff gets to the bottom of the pile. You want to cultivate relationships with the individuals who can now advocate for you. Okay. So again, with that priority access ticket, Is valued at $1,997. You're getting the welcome package, you're getting the three-course dining experience, you're getting the cocktails in the courtyard business networking experience, you're getting 30-day access to my monetized LinkedIn e-course, plus access to all the investors, right? $1,997 today, only $497. Literally shave off $1,500, only $497. Okay. And let me tell you the best part. I called PayPal myself because I've been a loyal customer of them for years. I asked them, can I offer my clients a buy now, pay later plan so that I can make sure that people who deserve to be in the room, who want to be in the room with the investors, can make that happen without finances being an issue? And they said yes. So I am offering a buy now, pay later plan. Two easy options. Let me show you how it works. Yes, sir, Terrence. Let me show you how it works. Okay. You can either pay in four, which means you do one down payment and then you have three more to go. So you can split that into payments of $124.25, $124.25. You make one payment up front and then you can pay the other ones bi-weekly. Or, right, and the best part, guys, there's no interest and there are no late fees. So if you're late on a payment, no late fees, and there's no interest. So if it's $497, it's $497. Okay, so it's not, by the time you get through paying for it, it's $1,097. Okay, so if you don't want to do the pay in four, the biweekly payments, you can do the pay monthly, right? And with the pay monthly, you don't have to pay anything down. There's no sign up or late fees. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I can't make it any easier. So you can do bi-weekly payments or you can do monthly payments. Just that easy. Okay. And this is what I'll leave you with. Okay. We got three more slides. This is what I'll leave you with. If you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. But if you're committed, you'll do what it takes. Let me tell y'all how I became an international speaker so quickly. I learned about a speaker who was already an international speaker. She was already a multi-millionaire. She was hosting a conference in Delaware one year. This was back in 2015, guys. The conference was $4,000. People thought I was crazy for paying for a $4,000 conference when I hadn't even made any money yet from speaking. I invested in that conference. Less than a year later, I got a call from someone in South Africa to come do my very first speaking engagement in Darling, South Africa, less than a year after investing in that program. I still have people who started in business with me who still haven't been out of the country, who are still not international speakers. They've only spoken domestically. But because I made that investment in myself, in my business, 45 countries later, here I am. Okay. So again, I wasn't going to do what was convenient. I was going to be committed and do what it takes because I knew where I wanted to go. And I know you guys know exactly where you want to go. And let me give you this little testimonial and then we'll wrap it up. This is only a few minutes.
Hey, my name is Kimberly Evans. I am the founder and CEO of Just a Rideshare, a rideshare community of women drivers and riders, providing a safe alternative rideshare experience based right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Listen, I wanted to tell you guys about an event that I attended last year called Access Granted. And guess what? It's about to happen again in March, and I am so excited. Listen, this pint sized powerhouse, Seneca Dunmore, has put on an amazing event in past, and she is doing it again. So last year, and I have my notes even from last year, she everything was great from top to bottom. The camaraderie, the networking, the food was amazing, and the speakers that she brought in actually had powerful content to share. Everything from alternative business funding with Tamika Stafford, right? It was amazing, to angel investors, Padowitz, who talked about their theses and companies that they typically invest in. There were accountants there and strategists and planners, and it was just so amazing. And then Seneca herself talked about the power of crowdfunding and how you can basically use crowdfunding for anything. And it was a powerful lesson. So, since the event, I have gone on to pursue and to win grant funding, which she talked a lot about that as well. And it was just so amazing. And I cannot wait to see what she has in store for us this year. So, if you are in the Charlotte area or anywhere close to the Charlotte area, you do not want to miss Access Granted this year. Check it out. Follow her on LinkedIn. Look it up and be in the house because, again, I cannot wait to see what's coming this year. All right, thanks.
All right, guys. So, with that being said, you can get started today for only $4.97. Remember, right? You're getting the welcome package, you're getting the monetized LinkedIn course, you're getting access to all the investors, which means you get to talk to them, cultivate relationships. If I were you, I'd be asking for their phone number, their email address. I'd be asking for coffee meetings, dinner meetings. Okay. They're going to be all in the room with you at the same time. And you can get in there for only $4.97. And the best part is if you qualify for the buy now, pay later, you can spread your payments out so you don't have to stress about how you're going to pay for the event today. If you do the pay in four, you only make one down payment and then you have three bi-weekly payments. If you do the pay monthly, you don't have to pay anything down today and then you have several months to pay it off. Okay, so I hope to see you guys at Access Granted. I'll go ahead and take questions now. So if you have any questions or comment, go ahead and throw it in the chat right now. We are done, and I want to go ahead and answer your questions now. Okay, so again, the 16th and 17th of June. So we are literally 2 weeks out. We are literally 2 weeks out. So if you're thinking about it, let me tell you, my dad used to say, study long, study wrong, right? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity where you can meet with all of these funders in the same room together. If I were you, I'd be making it my priority this week to buy that ticket, right? I would say do it now before all the tickets are sold out. All right, go ahead and ask me your questions, guys. I'm listening. I'm listening. Let me know. What questions do you have for me? Any questions about the conference? Any questions about your business? Let me know. Go ahead and throw it in the chat. You about to go to your karate? That's good. Any questions? And let me go ahead and put the link in the chat, the website. And then I'll also let me give you a quicker link that will take you directly to the buy now, pay later. So you have youraccessgranted.com/tickets. That'll show you all of the tickets that are available. The only one I talked about today was the priority access ticket. And then I just put in the last link is the one for specifically the buy now, pay later. And you just choose the PayPal option. It only takes a minute. And guess what, guys? You are in the building. Any questions that I can answer for you at this time? Any questions? But Terrence, yes. So you can do a buy now, pay later. Any questions? You're welcome. Terrence, I just put the link in the chat. Do you see it? Or you know what? I'll send you the link, Terrence, via LinkedIn, because you know me and you are always on LinkedIn. Okay. So Terrence, I just sent you the link on your LinkedIn as well. You're welcome, Terrence. Anybody else? Michonne? Anybody else have any questions? Any questions? All right, guys. So since we don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And again, if you are following me on LinkedIn, that's where I spend most of my time. If you need the link, no questions. Great seminar. Thank you. You're very welcome, Norbit. Thank you so much for attending. Make sure you're following me on LinkedIn. That's probably where I put out the most information and data. And again, if you have any questions, you think of something later, just go ahead and drop it to me in LinkedIn, and I'll make sure that I get the information back to you as quickly as possible. I hope you guys have a wonderful first of June, right? We are almost into the third quarter, guys. So let's finish second quarter strong, right? And one of the best ways to do that is to get into the room with the people who have access to the resources you need. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.